New Zealand pig farmers use a variety of housing and farming systems, with the majority of pigs in this country farmed indoors. Jason Palmer runs an intensive indoor pig farm based south of Christchurch. The herd has a high health status. Jason explains what's involved in keeping it that way.
It's a 450 sow indoor operation. We finish approximately 11,500 pigs a year, selling bacon progeny through to about 75 to 80 kilos dead weight. It's a well-established operation here. It's been here for 30 odd years, so people know we're here, or the neighbours do anyway, and we manage it according to our consent. Challenges, I suppose, just being in the pig industry sometimes can be a challenge in itself, but we've got an operation that's modern, and we've modernised it so we minimise the staff involved in the operation to streamline it. And being in a modern operation really makes it a lot easier to manage. I've chosen an indoor system primarily that we have better control over the management of animals. We can control temperature in the hot and cold parts of the month. We control the animals during farrowing process, so we minimise the losses and deaths of piglets, which is important to us. And obviously the grower finishes are all indoors on fully slatted floors. It makes it a very clean environment for the animal to live in. One of the other advantages of being indoors is that the cost of land now has become out of reach for most, and so an indoor operation or an intensive operation enables us to concentrate the animals in a smaller allotment of land, and so we're more financially viable when we're competing with imported product. In 2012 we depopulated the herd to clean up the health status and repopulated with 450 sows. Health is one of the biggest ones for the industry, to keep the herd as clean as we possibly can. The cleaner the herd, or the higher health the herd, the better the performance of the pigs. So it's paramount. So part of that process, we have a shower and shower out facility, 4-day stand down, so no one that's been on pig premises or properties or abattoirs can come in here unless they have a 4-day stand down. We're currently in the dry sow shed. This houses around 350 sows that are pregnant or at some stage prior to mating. We run a 3-weekly batch system here, so typically sow group sizes of 50 to 55 sows. Each pen has an electronic sow feeding system in it, so the sow, when she's weaned into the pen, she has 24/7 access to food and water. Sows are mated approximately 5 days after weaning. She'll cycle, and we artificially inseminate all our sows here, and then they're put into the large pens once they're been mated. And then we'll go in about 3 weeks later and pregnancy test them, and then again at day 50 just to check that they're still in pig. Gestation for sows is 115 days, and over that period with our electronic sow feeding system, she's on a feed curve, so as she gets closer to farrowing, she will feed allocation increases as her demand increases for feed. This is one of our farrowing rooms. It holds 60 sows, or what we call the Maternity Ward. The sows are usually loaded about 5 to 7 days prior to farrowing. Farrowing every 3 weeks, and the sows will farrow over a period of 5 to 6 days. The pen is designed to obviously protect the piglet and the sow. The sow is in here for 3 to 4 weeks. During that time, the pen enables the piglet to be protected from lying on or crushing from the sow, and that's the ultimate for us, is to minimise the risk of losses before those piglets are weaned. The rooms are controlled around 18 to 20 degrees for the sow, so the sow's kept at one temperature and the piglets have the ability to stay between 30 and 35 degrees. We wean every 3 weeks, and the piglets typically are around 28 days of age when we wean. The system you see has been refined over time, and we're still looking as an industry at options to try and change or make it different so that we can accommodate the sow and the piglet as best we can. There are some systems in a trial at the moment at looking at housing the sow for a shorter period in the stall. It's a balance, the welfare between the piglet and the sow. The welfare of the sow is important, but at the same time we need to ensure that the welfare of the piglet, their needs are being met as well. And so it's compromise, but again, trying to find a system that works for both the piglet and the sow is important for us. This is our nursery shed or weaner shed. Typically holds around 700 pigs in here. These pigs are currently 5 weeks of age. Again, this environment is controlled. The piglets come in at weaning and set at around sort of 26 degrees temperature, and they will be here for 6 weeks before they move to another location in the piggery. On a whole, our average daily gain of our piglet from birth to slaughter is over 700 grams a day live weight, which for a high health herd is reasonably typical. We make all our own feed here. Most of our feed consists of barley, wheat or soya. We have 2 sow diets and 5 grower diets. The diets are tailored to suit the age of the pig. Around 65 to 70% of our production costs is feed, so it's an important part of our operation to try and minimise our feed costs, and we do that through high health status, which means very feed efficient pigs. Globally, our feed costs are high compared to other competing countries, so it's an important one to us to remain efficient in that area as best we can. We have gone for a more conventional system by feeding grains. There are byproduct feeding systems out there. The risk with byproduct is you've got to control what goes into it, because there are risks with disease like PMWS, PRRS, etc. that potentially can be transmitted in meat. So it has to be a controlled operation. At the moment, New Zealand remains free of PRRS, which is a respiratory wasting syndrome, and we are trying to obviously keep diseases out of the country that are notoriously in other countries that have major consequences on the performance of a piggery operation like this. We have biosecurity procedures in place, and we hope that we never get it, because we see our counterparts in Europe and the US or North America that have diseases that we don't, and they can be quite crippling at times.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.